Greetings, this is Miss Jackson. I'm going to review the Lesson 21 homework. The Lesson 21 homework page only has two problems, but those two problems are going to give us a lot to tackle and talk about. Lesson 21 starts us into two-step word problems involving all four operations. We're going to need all the room on this page to answer these two problems. And so one thing I want to point out is we don't have enough worksheets with two-step word problems to send home so that you can practice every problem type that may be given your kids' way on a test. We just don't have that many resources. One thing you can do so that they can practice different types of two-step word problems, and the two I'm sending home here, is on IXL section, if you go to Math Skills Grade 3, Section Z, Section AA, and Section BB, you will see a lot of different little subsections there, and some of those are mixed operation word problems. Some of them are multiplication and division word problems. Some are addition and subtraction word problems. Some are everything mixed up word problems. So your child, I would strongly encourage, is going to need more chances to practice these multi-step mixed operation word problems than we can give them. We just don't have that many resources to send out. You can find those on Section Z, AA, and BB on the Math Skills on IXL. You can also look up and just try Googling two-step mixed operation word problems, third grade, and see what comes up. Khan Academy is a great place to go. Let's see if I can find something here. Khan Academy, it's a free online thing. You can get into that and search for third grade when you get into it. Let's see if I can find it. Third grade. This has it broken into units. On the left side, when you click third grade, though, you can, I guarantee, find some word problems. Like I'm looking at more with multiplication and division here. That will probably have some word problems down in it. Addition, subtraction, and estimation. So you're welcome to get in that and look for word problems, or just Google third grade multi-step mixed operation word problems and see what you can bring up. We're practicing them in class. It's something that we really have to practice all year. These are a little bit overwhelming. That's why on the unit test, I think we only have a couple mixed operation word problems, if any at all, because they just haven't had quite enough practice, and it's going to be a bit of a struggle. One thing I will say is I encourage the kids to take a moment, read this 2 or 3 times, and then ask yourself or make a note of what you know for sure. What we know for sure is what is typed in black and white on the paper, not what I think, what I guess, what I remember from a book I read, what I would want to do. None of that. Or even, this is what I figured out. What we know for sure is what is typed in black and white. So let's start with that. The top problem says Mr. Nguyen plants 24 trees around the neighborhood pond. He plants equal numbers of maple, pine, spruce, and birch trees. He waters the spruce and birch trees before it gets dark. How many trees does Mr. Nguyen still need to water? Draw and label a strip diagram. Sometimes you're told how to solve the problem, and you do have to solve it using that model or method. Other times it will just ask the question and you're free to solve it however you would like. In this case, we're told to use a strip diagram. So I'm going to start out by drawing a strip diagram, and I'm going to go back and ask myself, what do I know? Mr. Nguyen plants 24 trees. That is a total. So I know from here to here, we have a total of 24 trees. It says he plants equal numbers of maple, pine, spruce, and birch. To me, that's going to be my number of groups. I'm going to make a section for every type of tree, and I'm going to even label it maple, pine, spruce, and birch. If I keep reading, it says he waters the spruce and birch trees before it gets dark. So this one and this one are going to be watered before it gets dark. How many trees does he still need to water? Well, he still needs to water the maple and the pine trees. Now it's time for me to figure out how many maple and pine trees are there. Well, if I remember back, it told me that he planted equal numbers of all 4 trees. So whatever number I have, I'm going to have it 4 times, and it needs to add up to 24. So one way to solve this is 24 divided by our 4 types of trees equals something. You can flip that into multiplication and say something times 4 equals 24. We could skip count by 4 until we get to 24. Let's try that along the bottom. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. And then we're going to ask ourselves, how many times did we have to count by 4? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There must be 6 of each type of tree. If you're not comfortable with that method, another thing you can do is use a picture. And the picture that I would use would involve the strip diagram that I've already created. You could go through and put a mark in each section very methodically, that means very calmly and evenly, with a purpose, until you get to 24. And that's 24. And then you can count how many are in each group. I would encourage you to count every single group. So the first one I have 6, the second one is 6, the third one there's 6, and the fourth one is 6. The reason you need to count every group is because if you have rushed or been sloppy or made a mistake, you may have a group of 5 and a group of 7 and a group of 6 and a group of something else. If your groups don't have the exact same amount, then you've done something wrong and you need to redo your work. Okay, if I know there are 6 maples and 6 pines that still need to be watered, all I have to do at this point is add together 6 and 6, and that equals 12. And I like to have kids write a sentence with their answer, a complete sentence if possible, and it's something we're still working on. So we could write, and I'm going to write it down here on 4 because I'm out of space up there. I told you we'd need all the room, and we do. Mr. Nguyen still needs to water 12 trees. The reason I like to have kids write a complete sentence is because it helps them catch their mistake, especially when they read this back. Mr. Nguyen still needs to water 12 trees. Here's the most common mistake that happens on a problem like this. I'm going to do it in red down here. The kids may make their strip diagram, and they may know there are 4 sections, 4 types of trees. One thing that happens a lot is kids just go through and start putting the other number that they find in here, 24. Well, if we add 24 together 4 times, we're at, what is that, 80 and 16, 96. Let's hope that's right. That's why I shouldn't do public math. 96. Yeah, that seems good. 96. If we were to write this in a sentence and we were to say Mr. Nguyen still needs to water 96 trees, oftentimes we'll catch our mistake and say, wait a minute, he can't still need to water 96 trees if we only started with 24 trees to start. So encourage your kids to write their answer in a complete sentence. Yes, it takes 2 or 3 extra minutes to do, but it's a good habit to get into, and it's a good way to check your answer for reasonableness. Does your answer make sense? Is that a logical answer? Okay, let's go ahead and I'm going to erase all of this, and we're going to work on the bottom problem. 4. Anna buys 24 seeds and plants 3 in each pot. She has 5 pots. How many more pots does Anna need to plant all of her seeds? Let's take this one step at a time and ask ourselves, what do we know? We know that Anna has 24 seeds. That's a total. We know that there are 3 seeds in each pot. That would be the size of each group. We know she has 5 pots. Then the question says, how many more pots does she need to plant all of her seeds? So we can kind of assume that she doesn't have enough pots. Let's go ahead and see how many total pots would she need to account for all 24 seeds, and then we can work from there. There are 24 total seeds. There are 3 in a pot. There are 3 more in this pot. Well, we have 3 here. We have another 3. That's 6 total seeds. I'm going to keep a running count along the bottom until I get to my total of 24 seeds. Here's another pot of 3. That's 9 seeds. 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. And I'll stop there because that's how many we needed. What we know, let's go back and reread. Anna buys 24 seeds. She plants them in pots, plants 3 in each pot. And we've shown that. She has 5 pots. So she has, and let's number them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pots. How many more pots does she need to plant her seeds? Well, the how many more is going to be shown right here. She needs 1, 2, 3 more pots to be able to plant all of her seeds. Let's write that in a complete sentence. Anna needs 3 more pots to plant her seeds. Okay, we are going to stop there on this. Again, we can't send home every possible question that could be asked, every scenario, every way that this could be organized. And my goodness, does the state of Texas come up with some interesting questions? I wish I could find it again, but there was one a couple years ago on the STAR test about someone in a pet shop, and they could put so many birds in a cage, and they had this many birds already. What's the maximum amount of birds they could add to these cages? Just the wording will get really weird. So we're going to work on it all year. Please work on it at home when you can. Again, IXL will provide some resources for multi-step mixed operation problems in section Z, AA, and BB under the math learning skills. If you'll go to learning and then math skills, click on grade 3, go to those 3 sections, and you'll find a variety of word problems there to practice. We will continue sending word problems home here as we have them included in the resources that is provided or that are provided to us. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to reach out. Encourage your child to go very slowly, make notes of what they know, and draw models. This is why drawing these pictures and models is so important, because when we get to these really tricky questions, if we will draw a model, it will often answer what we're doing for us. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'll be happy to help in any way. Thank you.